Hello, livestock friends, and welcome to this edition of Before the Bid. This is a podcast dedicated to the livestock sales industry where we go behind the scenes of the operation and speak straight to the sellers. We discuss topics about the important aspects of their operation, location, the people behind the prep work, and talk about some of the animals that will be offered to you, the prospective buyers. Hopefully, you've got your sale catalog close by. You might have to go look through that pile on your desk, but if not, then you're probably like me and driving down the road or busy with chores around the farm. And that's okay too. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoy this segment of Before the Bid. I'm your host, Andy Howell. Welcome, livestock friends, to this edition of Before the Bid. And on this podcast, I have back a guest that I enjoy having on the podcast, and I enjoy just the friendship that I have with him through the cattle business and the different meetings that we have and different things that we do. And different times we get to hang out at shows or sales or whatever it is. I just really enjoy this guy, and I really enjoy the program that he works for and that he helps lead into the cattle world, and they are really making a splash here around the nation and even around the world here. And on this podcast, we are talking to Mr. Glen Davis of Linz Heritage Angus, and they are going to have their 4th annual Performance Tested Bull Sale, and it is coming up on January 23rd, and that is going to be a 2 o'clock Central Standard Time start time, and it will be held at Crown Point, Indiana. And Glen, you know, there's a lot of snow, there's a lot of cold, there's a lot of things in northern Indiana in January, and you guys have moved this sale up to January 23rd, and I just kind of laugh and think of where did that logic come from?
Well, it really came from, of all, it's kind of humorous, really, but it was really more the auctioneers and the sales manager just fitting in a weekend. And trying to make it ours. You know, that's kind of everyone's problem, because when we moved back from Wisconsin, we had to pick a weekend, which forced us into January. And of course, the great, the Baldridge sale has been a stalwart at the weekend they had, which is basically the last Saturday of the month. So we had to go the Saturday before, which actually kind of fits good here because we calve early. We're already done calving, and we moved our calving forward just for the sale for those reasons. And it kind of opened everything up now. And for us being in Indiana, as you mentioned, not only snow, but rain is the biggest hindrance we have, living right next to Lake Michigan. So we pretty much are very happy with the date now. I mean, we've done it the 2 years in a row now, and I mean, it really fits our deal. Last year we were still calving. We learned that was a mistake. So this year we quit calving at Christmas. Essentially, we have a few stragglers, and then we ship the later part of the herd to a southern farm with some good friends of ours that are actually great bull customers of ours. We call them the Indiana boys or Indiana group, but they're really good young, or I don't know if they're that young. They're kind of my age, but they do a great job, and they're calving about 60 of our Januaries down there. So we're basically done this year, so we can accommodate the bulls, with a great deal more ease than last year.
And as you said earlier, you guys had this bull sale, a joint bull sale in Wisconsin, and then you decided you would take it on your own down at Crown Point here in Indiana. And Glen, Indiana's not a great place to sell bulls. For a lot of people, I guess. A lot of people would say, well, I can sell 3 or 4 or maybe 10 a year. Some of those guys that have been around are doing quite a bit. But what was the thought behind moving it to Indiana and doing it right here?
Well, the Wisconsin deal, we were doing a joint sale while our herd was still building. And then once we got so big, we were bigger than our partner then. And which that's what, we were forced to make a decision, either stay in Wisconsin, which is very similar to Indiana. It's not a huge beef state. And so what our deal was then, we decided to push hard on our steer program, which is mostly, out west is where we buy a lot of them. We buy them in state also, but it's hard to get the group size that we need. So the customers will come mainly because we do business with them on the other end,
Mm-hmm.
buying their steers. So we're very fortunate there. Again, that's part of Fred Linz's goal and dream was to be self-sufficient almost. I mean, and we're not there yet. I mean, we're striving and getting better every year. We cull very hard here. People will like that. I mean, our bull sale this year, we culled 100 to get 100.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, we cull very hard. So the bulls in the sale are exceptional. And, mainly because we can't sell more than we're selling in the sale. We don't feel anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last year we could have used another 10 bulls, but you know how the bull selling is, Andy. I mean,
Right.
One year doesn't always mean what the next year is. And we're playing it kind of safe. I mean, we're doing a lot of different stuff. And hopefully last year's sale was a great success. And our high selling bull last year, Andy, if you remember, was only $16,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we still had almost a $6,000 average on 90 bulls. So, I mean, and there was a lot of Indiana buyers.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there was a lot of Indiana guys buying the bulls. So,
Right.
I mean, it just takes time, and with that time, Andy, you got to believe you're doing right. You know what I mean, bud? It's you can't, you just can't express enough how much faith you have to put in your program to take on the rough years, the early years. And our problem is, we're still, we're still perfecting our trade here in the state we're in. So, we do a lot of co-operator herds and stuff like that, and we pay a great deal of money for those calves. So, Andy, you can imagine how hard it is to take a knife to those bulls
Mm-hmm.
that just because we feel we can only sell so many.
Right.
And I mean, we're selling the steers at a loss, but it's part of the program right now until we feel comfortable selling 150 or 200 bulls.
Right. Right.
Our herd size will not grow anymore. I mean, we're around 500 calves a year, and that's enough.
Uh-huh.
In the state of Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
So we won't grow anymore. So we're always going to have around 200 to 250 bulls to pick from. It'll just, hopefully we'll eventually be able to expand on the 90 or 95 bulls that we put in each year.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that'll be a decision, Andy, as we move forward and make sure everybody's happy and that the bulls are going properly and we're getting enough money to make it fly.
Mm-hmm.
So otherwise we would go the other way. If it goes bad for a couple of years, we would probably shrink, down to 70 bulls,
Mm-hmm.
So we're just kind of learning on the go, Andy.
Right. A little bit one of those things. If you got a great big pen full of bulls, the phone doesn't ring quite as much as if you don't have any bulls in the lot, right?
Well, and I think a lot of the reason, Andy, I agree with that 100%. I think a lot of the reason people are starting to come to us is and we're lucky. Again, I'm very lucky to be part of an operation, but we're a bigger operation. So our size and groups of sons out of certain sires, this is the first year where it's very evident.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the sire, I shouldn't say all of them, but a lot of the sire groups, have at least 5 to 8 bulls out of that group, which gives guys a chance to buy brothers. A lot of guys like to buy brothers.
Right.
And so, and this is our first year where we've had that. In the past, we've had 1 or 2 sire groups that have had, 5 to 8.
Right.
This year, we must have at least 6 or 7 that have at least 5 to 8 bulls out of that group, which I think will help people too. Give them another advantage.
Right.
To buy one.
On those past bulls that they did have some sire groups, did you find that those sire groups might be selling a little bit better and selling to some of the same people so that those guys can take them and have those half brothers?
Yes, for sure. Exactly. And the other thing, I mean, especially in the Western buyers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Western buyers, they love to buy brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They love it. So, and actually some of the Indiana guys, our Indiana boys out there, they'll buy brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They'll try to buy all out of one group, which, of course, is very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Very helpful to us and to them.
Right.
And then you also find out what your best sire group was, so those daughters and sisters to those bulls will hopefully be our most valuable asset in the future.
To put in that female sale in the fall or offer to some of those customers there in the fall with the female.
Yes. Yep. That's kind of the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't always work, bud. You know that, but
Mm-hmm.
but that's what we're searching for.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if this is this the third or the fourth podcast that we've done. I know it's at least the third, but and we've talked about the background of Linz just a bit. But if somebody has not heard a little about the Linz Heritage Angus, would you give us just a real quick background of how you guys how it kind of started, and why are you guys at 500 cows now?
Well, Fred Linz, the owner of Linz Angus, is also the owner of Meats by Linz, which is one of the premier meat purveying companies in the country. I mean, as far as top end companies, I mean, when you mention quality meat, Linz will come up immediately. If you're dealing with chefs or anybody like that, they all know the company.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, Fred got out looking for a better program, a more eye appealing program with a lot better story. Because everybody, if you notice now, whether it's chickens, pigs, or bees, or honey, or it doesn't matter what it is, there's got to be a story or the consumer won't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So with Linz, I mean, Fred had the idea that he wanted to get more involved in the live end. He was always on the kill, and he never was involved in the live. So I met him while I was working at Riley Brothers up in Wisconsin, and Fred and I got to be good friends. So I knew him for about 2 years. And then he decided that he was going to do it. He was going to buy his own genetics and start trying to buy steers and start doing the whole full circle with meat.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we are, about 7 years later from when he began, and we've got 500 cows and a whole lot of steers. I can't even tell you where we're at there with COVID and everything. That kind of really fluctuated and hurt a little bit. But other than that, I mean, that's why he did it. He needed to have an honest program that is actually, we're finally getting there, Andy. We're finally getting our own steers coming down the pipeline now.
Mm-hmm.
It took a couple years, buying steers from guys that weren't, they weren't even our blood, but we had to start.
Right.
So, and now it's finally starting to flow. We brought in a new steer buyer. We had 2 steer buyers all year this year. Jerry Dean was our original buyer, and then now we have Anthony Randall, and he is buying. He lives out west. They both live out west, and so they got us on good ground to go, and they were both excellent steer guys. So that was smart. Fred made another smart move bringing them on, and so the COVID thing, like everyone, it's hurt. It's been a little rougher year. Because you got to remember, we're a top end meat company, so we only sell to restaurants, and as all of you out there in the audience know, that's been not good.
Right.
So it's slowed us up. It's changed our company some. We sell a lot more direct now. Mm-hmm. You can buy Meats by Linz meat now, online. So it's changed, but it's like every other company in this country. We're all going to be stronger when this is over.
Right.
And Fred's no different. I mean, he's made changes, and we're going to be in good shape. You can count on it. Meats by Linz will be around for a long time.
Right. Yeah, and you guys, you've got your steer buyers, but you guys direct those guys towards the guys that are using your genetics, especially things that come out of the bull sale and those kind of places, correct?
Exactly. And what we've really, the last few years, we've had many bulls either go to AI studs or we collect the better ones ourselves. And so many guys, we're really getting better and better customers every year, Andy. Mm-hmm. Every year we find a new 1 or 2 guys that'll AI, 200-300 cows to a bull purely for, killing reasons. And we've been buying a lot more bulls now. Our search on bulls has been, if you've noticed, Andy, I don't know if you've really noticed, but we've been buying bulls. And not quite to Grimius's level. Mm-hmm. We're not doing that, but we're buying a lot of bulls, using them in our program, and using them behind our cows, and then we're using them AI. Mm-hmm. So we're selling a lot more semen than we ever did before, and now people are liking it, and that's building also. That's just another part of our business. Right. Is the semen end, and that part's really picking up. And I got to admit, we just bought some new bulls. We bought a bull down at Oklahoma City, and we've had, I would say, probably 30 calls on that bull already, people wanting semen, and we didn't even buy him for that reason. We bought him because we need more bulls at home. We've had too many injuries. Uh-huh. And so it's that part's really been catching on, Andy.
Right. Now, was that a goal when you guys started this? Was it a goal to get into the semen selling business on your bulls?
No, it was not. It was a goal on our own bulls to raise them, but it was not a goal of ours to buy bulls. But But as it's ended up now, we probably buy more bulls now than we do females.
Uh-huh.
We're always watching for the newest genetics and the best genetics, and we can get kill data back so quick. We can find out which bulls are the real deal and which ones aren't.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's kind of what we focus on now. I mean, we want to buy. I think we want to buy 5 or 6 more bulls yet this spring. We've already bought 2 in January here, and we want to buy at least 5 or 6 more this spring. Some of them will collect right away. Some will just go directly to breeding the cows.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually had really good success at that. So we didn't plan on that one, but it's something we're really moving towards.
Right. Yeah, and when an opportunity knocks, you open the door for it.
And we use our own sons excessively.
Right.
Also our best bulls we use ourselves, and we try to prove them, and that's how you have to do it in this industry. On the registered end, I mean, we got to show people what our bulls can do, Andy.
Correct.
So we'll breed them right away.
2 things came out of that. One, we want to talk about a bull or 2 from you guys, but I want to hear a little bit about Oklahoma. We were out there as well, and you and I, we'd like to hook up whenever we can to talk and discuss things. And what did we get to see each other 10 minutes maybe out in Oklahoma, because you were so busy running around, and so were we. But you guys had a lot of success out in Oklahoma.
I got to tell you, I at Oklahoma was humbling, because the cattle we took were so well accepted. It was way above expectations,
Mm-hmm.
way above. Linz Exemplify, for instance, the backlash from Oklahoma has been monstrous.
Mm-hmm.
The calls and the interest in the bull, and just what he can do. Everyone got to see one of his oldest heifers, and it really was impressive. And the reason I'm so proud of that heifer, she is 3 generations Linz breeding.
Right.
Which is purely what you want as a program. We want to be a program that people know we are not just buying and selling and trading cattle.
Right. Correct.
They need to know that I am very, very interested in breeding our own bulls to our own cows, and finding out just who's who, against national bulls, nationally used bulls from studs, and our bulls are at stud, like Exemplify, of course. He's at Origin, he's at Universal Semen, he's at Cattle-Viz. You can get semen on him about anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But we're very proud of him. In that same sale, Andy, it's funny, the sale that Exemplify came out of, we sold 2 Confidence Plus sons that year, and a bull called Confidential went to Alta.
Uh-huh.
And I'm very proud of that bull. We've got many calves out of him this year. This was the year we got a lot of calves out of both those sires.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't be happier with both calves. I mean, Andy, you can't imagine the good feeling you get when you raise a sire that's used nationally and they do well.
Right.
It's like it means a great deal more, Andy, than any money ever could.
Right.
I mean, that other cattlemen, which are your peers, accept an animal from you. For me, anyway, it's what I do this for.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I do this for. I get just, don't get me wrong, I've sold a lot of semen over the last 10 years. And, I get the bad calls too.
Uh-huh.
Don't get me wrong. Not every bull works.
Right.
And so when you get one that can really lay the wood to it, like Exemplify is doing now, it's very, very proud.
Right.
Just very proud. And, we're fortunate. We used Confidence Plus, and, we used them again this year.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, again, just like before, lot 1 and 2 are Confidence Plus sons.
Mm-hmm.
And so we really, we like something about that bull, or we wouldn't keep doing it.
Right.
So, yeah, we've been very happy with that. Our other bulls like Accuracy and Shifting Gears, they're heavily in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Accuracy was at Gen X, and Shifting Gears was privately owned, and he died young. So we didn't get a lot of cattle out of him, but the daughters and these bulls out of him are just sensational. And so we've been very happy with the bulls that we've chosen, and we try to be very picky with the bull that we go public with, nationally.
Right.
I'm very, very picky, and because I'll still be wrong. Believe me, I'm wrong every day. Just ask my wife. and I'll.
I don't know if you're so wrong or that she's so great.
Well, that's probably more to be true. That's probably what's more true. I guarantee if you talk to the Indiana Angus Association, she's the queen.
She is.
She is a great advisor. And unfortunately, as the story goes, Andy, I'm the one that got her into being the advisor. And because they asked me to do it, and they didn't know her. And then now that she's there, Glen's just second fiddle. You really
Right.
don't need him.
Right. We just need Glen to get you here, and
Yeah.
Sarah, you just run with it.
Yeah, she runs the deal. So, but that's a whole nother story. But we'll talk about some other time. But
Right. Right. Glen, tell us a little more about the story of Exemplify. When did you guys realize that you really had something here? How did this thing come about?
we knew you remember now, Exemplify was at our last sale in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was raised here as a calf because his mother was a donor. So he was actually raised at the ET facility.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a strange deal. So I didn't get to see him a whole lot. And actually, to be real honest with you, the tale of Exemplify really came about when Ben Weiss, which is, he's one of the co-managers of our farm,
Mm-hmm.
him and Dylan McLean, they run the farm together. I've pretty much stepped down from those duties now. And anyway, Ben, at that time, Dylan wasn't with us, and Ben calls me. He went up to clip the bulls to picture,
Mm-hmm.
and he took a quick video of Exemplify. Coming at that time, his name was not Exemplify; it was just Confidence Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent me this video, and he said, "Have you seen this bull?" And I said, "No, but put that on Facebook." And I guarantee you, the minute we put that on Facebook, we had more calls off of that bull. That's when I knew he was special.
Mm-hmm.
We had many people go see him, and I mean, they called him the man child. I mean, he was a Confidence Plus that was different
Mm-hmm.
from most Confidence Pluses. I mean, and then when we scanned him, the folklore even got better. He was the number one scanning bull. He did everything perfect. I mean, he never missed a beat, and in docility, he's like a kitten. And I mean, he just but yet still, Andy, you have to understand when you have a bull like that you think is great, you have to be careful.
Right.
You cannot go public and tell the world he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, which I did not. I tried to control myself. I hope I never came off that way. I mean, he sold for a lot of money, which right away brought attention to him.
Right.
And then when that happens, the hammer comes down on me, Andy, if he fails.
Right. Right.
Fred's not going to get those calls. They come to me.
Right.
And so I'm very, very cautious anymore because I've had bulls that have failed.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I really knew he was great was this fall when we had our first big, 25 of them born.
Mm-hmm.
And they were head and shoulders above the rest,
Mm-hmm.
which one of them was the one we sold in Oklahoma, the one that drew everyone's attention.
Mm-hmm.
And that was 0736. And she's out of our greatest cow also, one of our greatest cows. She's out of 3189, which has been our high income cow.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't, by lack of design that the calf was good.
Right.
I mean, I'll take full credit for that part, Andy. But actually, I didn't even breed her. The boys bred her. So that's more of a joke for the boys. But they bred her, and it was the right mating because that calf was sensational. I just put a picture out last week again on Facebook just to show everyone that calf was not the only Exemplify that's incredible.
Right.
And I mean, they're all just, to be real honest with you, Andy, he's the first bull that in years, I mean, you and I are both old enough, unfortunately, to remember when you would inject performance bulls into the show cows.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first bull in years that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We've had many show people contact us now wanting his semen.
Mm-hmm.
And which to me it lets people know that what I've talked about for 30 years now, cattle can't just have big numbers. They have to be physically athletic, and they have to be smooth shouldered. They have to travel well, or I will not have them on the farm.
Right.
And he is the epitome of what I've bred for the last 35, 40 years.
Right.
And I hope he continues. There's a lot to be done yet. All I can tell you is our spring calves are the same way. They are born right. They're born the right size, born the right shape, and they just excel once they're born. Mm-hmm. And the only thing now is what size will they be mature? That's the only thing we're waiting for. He's a 5'8" frame bull himself,
mm-hmm.
and so we're hoping he throws somewhere between 5'6" and 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
if they're no bigger than that, I'll really be happy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot to be done yet, but the early signs now on the bull are incredible, and we could not be prouder that we raised that bull.
Right. Yeah, and I hope he works because we've used him in our program quite a bit, and actually I just bred one to him here about an hour ago. So we've jumped on it, and we as well hope that he really excels and really works out, and maybe we'll be on the leading end of something for once.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's always a risk. Every time you use a young sire, it's a risk, but I can tell everyone listening that the risk now is it's been cut in half at the least.
Uh-huh.
At the least, I can assure you that you can use that bull, and you made him properly, and you're going to be very happy.
Right.
And we've mated him many ways, and he really hasn't failed in any mating.
Mm-hmm.
But he really excels to animals that are similar to him.
Right.
Just if they've got any phenotype already, all he does is improve it.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And the neck extension is what has shocked us.
Uh-huh.
The amazing front end is hard to get out of a bull with his kind of numbers.
Right.
Most numbered up bulls that have that kind of marbling, they don't throw that kind of front end.
Uh-huh.
But that was that was the reason we really thought he might do it if he can just like I said, we're excited. I'll leave it at that. Right.
Yeah, and I can imagine, and as well you should be, especially with the early success of him, and yeah, if you guys that picture you put up, I've seen it a couple places. Is it on Linz? Is it on the Linz Facebook?
Angus. Yes.
On the Facebook page. Okay.
Yeah, the new one, the new calf.
Right.
And that calf's actually, that's why I put that one up specifically. That calf is out of a Prophet cow, which is not a known phenotype animal.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see we've got a flush of 5 sisters out of that deal, and that calf will be our next headliner. It's another one, same kind of numbers of the calf we just sold, the big $300-some C and the $200 B, and yet she looks like a Greek goddess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's phenomenal.
Awesome.
We bought that flush last year in Denver, and I had never expected the phenotype. I've never seen the cow, so I can't say anything that way.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen pictures of her. She looks great, but I mean, these heifers and bulls out of that mating, we had 9 total, and they're stellar.
Mm-hmm.
And our other ones, we've got them. We've had a few mistakes where we were lucky.
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple great calves. We just got the blood back. And I said, my God, that's an incredible calf, or whatever the sire was. And here they made a mistake in the book, and here they were exemplifies. And I was like, well, that makes more sense. When we were looking at these heifers, and I said, holy moly, these are incredible. And I don't want to say the sire that they were. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Uh-huh.
But Ben just got the blood back, and they were switched. Somehow the boys, put the wrong stick of semen in them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And once you realized they were exemplifies, then you looked at them and you were like, yes, yeah, that is what they are.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't hard. So that means a lot to me. And I hope everyone else sees that same thing when they get the young calves.
Right. And you guys like Confidence Plus so much, you guys start the bull sale out with some Confidence Plus bulls.
Well, I can tell you, Andy, this is a whole nother deal. Now, this is something that should actually excite you. This is an actual all Indiana pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
The Ruth, comes from Stewart Select.
Right.
And then we got, we bought the cow with Cody Sankey. And so it's all Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing, lot 1 and 2 are 100% Indiana. The world got to see the greatness of that cow when we sold Linz Crown Point. At the time, his name was different. So people may not notice his name, but we had some backlash on the name, and everyone was pretty well to be done with 2020. So,
right.
So we changed his name to Linz Crown Point, and he sold in our female sale, which we like to do. We like to put one great bull in the female sale,
mm-hmm.
and he went to Gen X, and the bull is really making a lot of semen. So I'm expecting these 2 brothers to be the same, and or we're hoping anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had lots of interest in the lot 1 and 2 bulls. I mean, they've been probably the most exciting bulls we've had since Exemplify himself, as far as interest.
Mm-hmm.
I've had an assortment of calls from an assortment of different kinds of breeders. So hopefully they come in as the next great Linz sire that we've raised, and we're hoping anyway.
Right.
And both of them are slightly different than Exemplify. Exemplify, the lot one has the same Exemplify look.
Mm-hmm.
The lot two is just all power.
Mm-hmm.
He's just long as a bus and just really powerful. And the lot one is very flashy. Even though they're full brothers, Andy, they're actually slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just which you get in genetics, that.
Right.
And the cow is stellar. I mean, I can let people know right now they will expect to see great things out of that cow. We flush her hard. We're going to have we've got 5 or 6 daughters of her already, and I mean we would put her in our top 5 cows now.
Right.
She's already proved it in her first big flush year that she's a cow to reckon with. In our herd, she is definitely doing some damage. So again, I got to thank Cody Sankey and Stuart Select for raising such a cow. And
right.
I believe Cody bought her at side on a cow that he bought from Stuart Select. So
Mm-hmm.
so both those herds should be commended as part of the success. But
Right.
So we were very happy with that.
And Indiana guys, we like that.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm all about state pride, and as everybody knows, that's why that's why I try to get involved with the juniors and try to get involved with the seniors and whatever. We're not really called seniors, I guess, but some of us
right.
are seniors. But
right.
But with the adult membership and I just want to help as many people as I can and make our state do as well as we can and get some well-deserved respect. Indiana has some great cattle and some great cattlemen.
Right.
So I hope people will see that.
Right.
And as you look at the catalog, Andy, if you go right down the pages, you get to the lot 3 bull and the lot 4 and 5. Those are no doubt bulls. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's one of our smaller contemporary groups, but don't kid yourself that they're not some of our best bulls.
Mm-hmm.
The no doubt thing, they're powerful. They're not heifer bulls by any means,
Mm-hmm.
but they are power bulls. And you can see the 453 cow in the lot 3. I mean, that is our number one dollar income cow. Nowoski's in Maple Lane bought the half interest in her a few years ago, and as you can see, every time anything sells out of her, it's a high seller. So
Mm-hmm.
we're very proud of those calves. The lot 5, 4, and 5 are kind of the same way. One of our lead donors, just tremendous bulls. And again, back to what we talked about, Andy, the big sire groups, the big contemporary groups, we've got, how many Niagaras? We've got 8 Niagaras selling.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Indiana, that's an Indiana bull, which that really drove us to him.
Right.
And a couple of them are breed leading numbers. The lot 6 is probably the best Niagara we have, and he's actually one of Niagara's top numbered sons. Since the book was printed, he's gone up $20 on Dollar C.
Oh wow!
Now he's a $300 C bull and a $198 B, I believe, and which is very high for Niagara. Niagara's not used for that. Niagara's used for balanced traits, very balanced trait sire, and they're balanced trait cattle. I mean, they're just phenomenal, and I really got to admit, using Niagara was a great plus for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next bull, in the book, they're not really in any particular order in the book as far as quality, but other than the lot 1 and 2, of course, they were, they're a different deal. But then after the Niagaras come in the Tahoes, and that was another bull we used basically for heifers, and then we used him on a couple flushes to put in heifers.
Mm-hmm.
Because a couple of our co-op guys will put eggs in heifers, and they said, hey, can you use a heifer bull? Well, I'm going to tell you something. Tahoe is more than a heifer bull. They are some of the best calves. Sale day, I'm very excited to see what people think of the Tahoes. I mean, I really think they're good cattle. And then after them come in the Signals, and they're another one. We've got between Signal and Power Play, the 2 1682 sons, we've got over 15 bulls out of that mating. And Signal is special, very special bull. I mean, him and Growth Fun and Power Play, we used all 3. And Signal at our farm, I'm not saying anywhere else, but at our farm, Signal dominated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can see the proof in the pudding there. The bulls, again, very, very all around good numbers, good birth, good everything, and just incredible how they mated with our cows. The Power Plays, we didn't get as many, and they mated very well. We don't have quite as many of those, but they mated exceptional, and their number set is maybe a touch higher. but very similar bulls. And then we had a couple master plans, Andy, that is another Linz bull.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, actually, it was Linz breeding, but we bought the bull.
Mm-hmm.
And he died. He only had 300 units of semen total. He had one collection at origin, and then he broke his hip.
Oh, wow.
And as you can see from lot 34, though, they're beasts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in our last sale, they were the high-selling sire group.
Right.
And these are the last two we have. So this will be the last time we offer master plan calves for sale. And both of them are exceptional, just exceptional. And then we come into Linz Accuracy, which is, again, one of our own resident herd sires and at Gen X. And, you know, again, just a bull that has done so much good for us. He's a Schaff-bred bull, you know, then back to active duty, which was a bull that I raised. And the 2397 from Schaff is one of the greatest cows to ever walk the planet. Mm-hmm. And Accuracy, just that kind of bull. He's another all-around good numbered bull. And like the lot 37 is actually, he's over $300 C now too. And he is a half brother to Confidential, the mm-hmm. bull that went to Alta in our second sale. Mm-hmm. So the Accuracy sons are very good. And then, you know, you roll to the shifting gears. Again, another bull that died too young. Mm-hmm. But they're just incredible bulls. So many people called us and just loved him. There just isn't enough of them because he died young. You know, we only had about maybe 1,200 units of semen total on him. And unfortunately, we thought he was going to continue to do well. So about 800 of those went to commercial guys. Mm-hmm. So we really didn't have much. We have guys call us now just wanting semen on him. And we've had some just tremendous calves out of him. Mm-hmm. And again, he's just an all-around great numbered bull. He's an extreme calving ease bull himself. But of course, if you breed him to the heavier birth weight cows, you can still get a 2-pound or right. 1-pound calf. But I mean, at least 6 of the calves out of him in the sale are negative for birth.
Right.
So if you're looking for calving ease bulls, he'll be the lead-off bull that way.
Yes.
You know. Then we go to Dooley, which DL Dooley was another bull we used very heavily. We're selling 10 of them in the sale. And I mean, just powerhouses. They're another sire group that they're extremely soft made, Andy, but they're very powerful. And I just love the Dooleys. We got a lot of different kind of matings to him. Some of our best donors, most of them are ET calves that are Dooleys. Mm-hmm. And again, he's another bull that wasn't a huge numbered bull. And he's very good yearling weight, you know, in a very low birth. Mm-hmm. But his $C, $B weren't that high. But when you come and see the bulls, they'll be some of the first bulls you notice. Mm-hmm. So we're very happy with them too. We used Enhance, of course, like the rest of the country, and we've got some excellent Enhances. I mean, a couple of them have some of the best numbers in the sale. I'll be anxious to see what happens with them. It'll be very interesting because the lot 65 bull, He's got great numbers, a 66 bull, and they've actually went up. Their mother has been climbing. Their mother sold in our female sale and went to High Roller Angus in Texas. And since she's gotten down there, she's gone up $20-some on $C. So both of those bulls are much higher now, too. Mm-hmm. And so we're quite high on them. They're a little different kind of breeding for us, but very, very happy with the bulls that we're selling out of them. Mm-hmm. We've got a Southern Charm bull. We've only got 3 Southern Charms this year, and we really like Southern Charm. We sold a lot of them last year, and probably the most impressive bull in the sale is lot 71, and he is actually a Southern Charm that's got just unbelievable power and mass, and real high marbling. I mean, no one will miss that bull. That bull will not sell the 71st bull, I'll promise you that.
You're not doing them in book order then.
No, he will not go in book order. We did the female sale in book order, but I don't believe we may. I don't know. We really liked it in the female sale, but I don't know what'll happen. Then we've got some Ambassadors, which again is one of those bulls I was telling you that we've been buying. Well, Ambassador's another one. He had an untimely early death, and I just had some incredible news, Andy, just yesterday. Cody Quam from Wisconsin called me, and he bought a 7804 was her number in last year's sale. Mm-hmm. And her calf, they just scanned it, and he texted me with the message. Now, don't quote me because I don't have it pulled up because I can't mess with my phone while I'm talking on it. But the bull scanned 9.7. I could be wrong, Cody will correct me, but it was 9.6, 9.7 for IMF, ratio to 193, and they're a great herd.
Oh, wow.
And that was out of Ambassador to a Linz, innovation cow that he bought. So those are the calls you love.
Right.
You want to get those calls. So we've got a couple Ambassadors in there. We've got some great Ambassador daughters, and both these bulls are very good. The two Ambassadors are in there. The one is exceptional. The Lot 76 is a very good bull. We got a couple of Americas in. They're the two youngest bulls in the sale. They're very nice. They're, again, just very high numbered for America, because of the cow. They're out of 453 again. And then we have a forefront bull. Now, this will be the wild card bull. Our forefront bull is a bull we bought from Pineview, Angus, out of Iowa. And we bought him for his incredible carcass. He's a top 10 dairy bull for the breed, when they came out with the dairy index.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you what, he's a lot more than that. I went out west to one of our best herds that bred to him heavily out in Montana at Stacy Hooks. And he's in fact, Stacy's a write-up in front of the book there. And I'm going to tell you what, the forefront stood out like, I don't even want to say the word, how well they stood out. They stood out like a sore something.
Right.
And I'm telling you, they were dominant. And this bull's no different. Just incredible, bull. The future is very bright for him. Next year's sale, we'll probably have 20 of them in it. And another young bull that we're very high on. Just very excited. And then we've got at the end of the book, we've got some inertias, some cowboy ups, some innovations, to kind of wrap the book up. And the bull sale, like I told you, Andy, is far, far and above any bull sale we've had. I know everybody says that every year, but we are a young herd. So basically it's true. I mean, we grew a great deal last year. And we grew so much that we just had so much more selection.
Right.
And we kept, we just culled hard. So like I said, you're buying bulls that have been culled extensively.
Right.
Extensively.
200 down to 100 or so.
Yes. Yeah. It was actually over 200
right.
to get down to under 100. And so we're very proud of that as far as the bulls. The bulls have been fed right as far as feeding. The bulls will not be fat. They've been scanned. We got the scan data. We'll have it all on a sheet for everybody. It's, most of them were at 0.2 of back fat, which means they were, maybe a hair light, but that I like, just because I really don't want to ruin them.
Right.
And I've done it in the past. Don't get me wrong. I've had a lot of bull sales, in my life. And I mean, you know how bulls are, Andy. It's very hard to know when you've gone too far until you scan them. And then you're like, oh, shit, we got to go heavier.
Right.
And, it's just one of those deals. And I mean, the genetics are there. So a guy just has to, trust in the bull. But the bulls are heavy. I would say most of the yearling weights were anywhere between like 1,200 and 14, right perfect for what I think a bull should weigh at a year. The fall bulls, of course, were lighter, because they're on grass all summer and they're not treated the same as the springs.
Right.
But them fall bulls are sound and I mean, they're impressive. I mean, they'll be heavy sale day, of course, because they've been eating all winter, but I really like the fall deal. In fact, Andy, I was just telling you about our spring moving up to November and December. Our falls, we've just moving the herd heavily that way. We will eventually be probably 80% fall herd. So we just like the fall bulls. Giving people an 18-month-old bull is a huge deal.
Right.
Just so much better at breeding. You don't have near the breeding troubles. So there's I believe 30 fall bulls in the sale. So people should like that, and next year's sale will be even more. So
a little bit of extra size, extra time, extra pounds, extra extra maturity,
and brought up right.
Right.
And like I said, just brought up right.
Right.
Not pushed, raised on grass, all summer. They just grow the way they look rough when you go out there in the grass. You're like, you're not used to it. It's tough.
Right.
It's not like I'm going to take you there every summer unless you directly ask me.
Right.
It's not the way bulls are normally fed, but you just have to know that it just helps so much with their testicle development and their feet and legs and just all around body. It really helps them. I just think it makes them, the longevity is just so much better.
Right. Absolutely agree. And you guys can again find the catalog if you don't have a catalog. Probably getting pretty close to the time that that they could send you one, but it is at linzheritageangus.com. Is that right?
Yes, it's at linzheritage.com, and you can find all the videos also.
Mm-hmm.
The videos are either through the Angus Association. You can go to our book and they're there.
Mm-hmm.
You can hit on each bull, or you can go to YouTube, or you can go to linzheritage.com, or you can go to Brooklyn at Live Auctions. She also has them up.
Right. So you could watch the podcast video as well.
Yes, you could. Exactly.
Right. Well, that's great. Yeah, and again, we want to tell you the 4th annual Performance Tested Bull Sale. It's January 23rd, Crown Point, Indiana, and Linz Heritage Angus. And Glen, I appreciate you getting this set up again, and so that we could get this on and have you on the podcast again. And I just enjoy talking to you any chance that we get, and I know I always learn so much. I wish you could learn half as much as what I learn when we have a discussion. So.
Oh no, I got to tell you the same back at you, buddy. I like say you and your dad. Your dad was there yesterday. I mean, I'll tell you what. If you don't know Andy's dad, you need to know him. He is one of the most honorable men you'll ever meet. Just an incredible man, incredible family. Your daughter Allie. So I got to throw a little extra in for her. I love that girl.
Well, she's got good ones to look up to through your daughter as well. So. We appreciate
that, bud, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
Right. Well, that sounds great. I was thinking we were going to go to the bull sale this year. I haven't missed a female sale, but I haven't been to one of the bull sales yet. And with all the COVID and all the craziness, I was thinking I'm looking at the basketball schedule because we call the basketball games. And so I was like, all right, we've got that Saturday off. We've got a game Friday night, but we've got that Saturday off. We could fly up there Saturday morning, go to the bull sale, eat excellent, as you always do at Linz Heritage Angus. And they stopped in about noon on Friday and said, hey, we picked up a game next Saturday. And then the girls' coach came in about 40 minutes later, and he says, hey, we picked up a game next Saturday too. So I don't think we're going to get to make the bull sale, and I'm pretty upset about that.
Well, I definitely, one thing, like you said, you are a stalwart at the female sale, which, like you said, you could tell everyone in the world it's one of the sales that you don't want to miss. Even if you're not coming to buy, you don't want to miss it for the fun.
Right.
And a little bit of drinking going on, a little bit of music, and just a lot of good fellowship from a lot of people, and we're really proud of that. And the meal, of course, is second to none. So. Mm-hmm. Anytime anyone gets to come, if nothing else, you get a chance to eat a Linz steak, which is always a benefit.
Right. And you're going to have that on Saturday at noon, with the sale following at 2:00 Central Standard Time.
Yep, right. That'll be perfect.
All right. Well, that sounds great, Glen. I appreciate it again, and good luck with the bull sale. And we will talk to you very soon on the female sale, and it'll be here before we know it, I'm sure. But again, just want to wish you luck with everything that coming up here with the bull sale.
Thank you very much, Andy.
All right. Well, thank you, and we want to thank you for listening to another edition of Before the Bid podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Before the Bid. For more information and to learn more about upcoming podcasts and sales, visit us at beforethebid.podbean.com or Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram pages. For information on being a guest on Before the Bid, please email us at beforethebid@gmail.com or one of our social media pages. Remember, that's beforethebid@gmail.com. Happy sales to you, and we will talk to you next time on Before the Bid.